Yo, what is up, guys? Shinobi here, back again with another video. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with another video for, I guess, the government trying to censor anime and gaming. Here we go again. It's like Gamergate freaking 2.0 over here. I don't know, electric boogaloo. But either way, we got more news. And this is really, really important considering that if they do somehow get away with this, it basically means that they can just censor whatever the fuck they want. So let's say you like a certain anime game, or you like a certain game, or a certain anime, or any form of media that these people don't like, they could just censor the fuck out of that shit, and it's a lot. Once again, I'm gonna let him explain majority of it, and then I'll elaborate because I'm not trying. I'm tired, bro. It's 12 o'clock at night, and my brain is not operating at full cylinders, so it's probably better that I don't try to explain it. But either way, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Once again, the reason I'm covering this, once again, just like the vshojo incident that is going on, is because it is really important. Like, holy shit, like, it's like a lot of shit going on right now. You got this going on, you got the vshojo stuff going on. To be honest, the vshojo stuff is kind of wrapped up at this point.
Do not mistake the Screen Act as the same thing as the Kids Online Safety Act that a lot of content creators are currently covering, like Moist Critical, Asmongold, and myself included. There is another bill that is within the United States Congress called the Screen Act that effectively does the exact same thing.
Yep.
However, this one has went under the radar. It's apparently been in our government since the beginning of this year, but it pretty much more or less is doing the exact same thing that the Kids Online Safety Act is trying to do. More or less, to summarize, require identification pretty much just to access the internet, and in turn also be able to monitor and know what you're doing at any given time. And looking at what's just happened in the last week and a half with like the UK with its Online Safety Act, it's very clear needing identification to access the internet is not necessarily for protecting children. It's a grab for power and control.
Basically, yeah. That's all it is. They say it's about the kids, but let's be real, it's not. It's not. Because like I said in the video I recorded before when I was reacting to this situation when it first started popping up, there is no kind of safety act that will ever replace just parents being good parents. Because let's be real, even with all this safety acts that y'all are making right now, let's be real, these kids ain't stupid. The internet is free. And let me tell you right now, they will bypass this shit no problem. It's not about the safety of kids. It's about control. They're just using kids as the front so they can do it. It's as simple as that.
And to watch the citizens and make sure and monitor them that they're not doing something that the government doesn't want you to do. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First off, we need to talk about the Screen Act and how this was even discovered in the first place. So, thanks to the overall awareness and a lot of people now talking about the censorship in just this last week alone, and a lot of big content creators finally diving into the topic, a lot of people became aware of the Kids Online Safety Act and how obviously this is going to be used in very evil ways to control the public, control the narrative, to censor people, to censor fiction, to censor entertainment, games, etc. Obviously, a lot of people are now starting to talk about this. However, thanks to the overall publicity of this, it gave rise to people finding out about the Screen Act, which, as you can see by the date when this was introduced, it was introduced back in February of 2025, so much, much earlier than the Kids Online Safety Act, which was introduced only a few months ago. However, as I said, the Screen Act effectively does the exact same thing. However, it doesn't really try to hide its nefarious purposes. Like, I'm going to read this first line here, and it really just goes to show that the government's not even trying to hide the fact of what it's doing, because obviously bills like this go under the radar. Not a lot of people really go out of their way to find and look up bills and what the government's going to be voting on, or what's potentially going to get passed, what the Senate or the House is going to be voting on. Not a lot of people really look up this type of stuff. They don't try to figure out what is going on. But here's what the first line says: to require certain interactive computer services to adopt and operate technology verification measures to ensure that users of the platform are not minors, and for other purposes. That line of dialogue alone is...
Yeah, we all know what the other purposes is. It's basically surveillance. It's basically it's like if they were to walk into your house at this point and just put a camera up there and just basically be watching you all the time. Well, I guess what in this case, but if you're on the internet, but that's pretty much close. That's close enough. That's the other purposes. Once again, the kids thing is just a front, because once again, we all know that if parents actually decide to be parents, none of this nonsense would even be happening in the first place. All this is basically the government taking advantage of a problem and then selling a really, really garbage solution that doesn't help anybody but themselves.
It's just ominous. You're not going to tell me you're going to read that, and you're not telling me that the vagueness of that
Other
is
purposes.
not ominous. Like, that's just not even getting into reading the bill. And I want to point this out. I really dislike the optics that these activist groups, these payment processors, and our governments are now doing to be able to introduce this level of censorship. They're using the term protect the kids, think of the children, to be able to pass things that are just stripping freedoms and rights away from people, to be able to monitor you and know what you're doing at any given time, to be able to censor you.
And the crazy thing about these groups, like once again, these feminist groups or anything like that, that try to censor stuff they don't like, is they don't even realize that they're screwing themselves over too. Because what if one day the government decides to be like, we don't like the shit that y'all saying. Let's censor your shit. Then all of a sudden, it ain't looking too hot over there, is it? Because once again, right now, y'all over here talking about, oh, let's protect the kids, let's ban stuff off of Steam, yada, yada, yada. Even though that's not doing anything, let's be real. For now. But what if they start banning their shit? Huh? What then? What if they start censoring what you guys want? What then? Like they don't think that far ahead. They don't. Like once again, we have opened Pandora's box at this point when it comes to this crap, and it's getting ridiculous.
You for they can just push a certain narrative the way they want. It's legitimately horrifying. It's actually crazy, and so many people are legitimately, because of the optics of these type of bills or these activist groups or what payment processors are saying, they're going to straight up side with this bill and say, like, why wouldn't you want to protect kids? Why wouldn't you want to keep them from seeing bad things? And here's the thing, okay, it's up to the parents to do this. It should not be the government, like the big government, to come in and do this.
It is the parents'
should
job.
Do their jobs. They should stop being lazy and do what they're supposed to do by taking care of their kids and keeping them out of things they shouldn't be getting into.
Because the problem, and to elaborate on this, once again, the reason why this is even happening is because the parents do not want to take care of their own kids. Especially this new generation. This new generation of parents, I'll tell you right now, will put a phone in front of a child just to distract them so that they don't do anything dumb. And they won't even check to see what that child is looking at all. And that's how they end up running into shit that they shouldn't be finding. They just put a phone in front of them and call it a day. They don't actually try and raise or be involved in that kid's life. And then they wonder why that kid is out there finding the stuff that they're finding or doing the stuff that they're doing. It's because you're not even involved. You never were. If parents would actually do what they're supposed to be doing, like how they did when I was growing up, we wouldn't be talking about this. It's as simple as that.
But instead, we have the government wanting to overreach all in the name of protecting kids, but in reality, it's more or less a power grab and also a fight for control to do whatever they want. I mean, we already have many examples of this going on within the UK with its Online Safety Act. I mean, you know what? I'm going to pull up a clip. I was going to save this, but I think that this clip is very important. I'm going to pull it up. Here it is right here. So this right here is a politician within the UK straight up admitting to the bill that got passed and came law, for instance, like, in the UK, the Online Safety Act, and goes full mask off, saying it was never about protecting kids. It was about censoring freedom of speech, censoring adults' freedom of speech, and also to be able to monitor them and basically have a task force to, potentially throw them in prison if they...
Bro, if this is true and they just truly went mask off about this shit, then, bro, we are beyond cooked if this is what's about to be happening here. Holy shit. Like, he actually just aired this out? Damn.
Say the wrong thing online. For instance, I'm going to play the clip. I'll let it play for itself. I'll be quiet.
Online safety bill. If it's just about children, is it just about children, or does it focus on adults?
Do you think that should be an elite squad?
Barry, does it just focus...
Protect 13-year-old
I'm sorry,
girls?
the elite squad is not about children, actually. Shall I read you the thing? An elite squad of police officers is to monitor social media for anti-migrant sentiment. I don't think 13-year-olds are engaging that. So is it also to monitor adults? Simple question, yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay, there we go. Look, sorry.
Yep, pack it up.
You hear that? I'll replay that. Let's replay that.
Also to monitor adults. Simple question, yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, pack it up.
This news reporter that grilled this politician.
Pack him
Amazing,
up.
amazing work by them to just straight up.
They just straight up
cancel
basically admitted to the fact that that whole entire Kids Safety Act was never about the kids in the first place. It was just there to basically control. It's there for control. And I guess in the UK, I don't know what it is, but for some reason they prefer to help migrants than their own people. And that's why they're getting cooked right now. Once again, the whole protect the children shit, it's just a freaking, it's literally just, it's smoke and mirrors. They say they're doing this to protect children, but in reality, they're not. They're doing it for control. They want surveillance. They want it to, they want, it's like, bro, it's like some North Korea type shit for real, bro. Like, you can't say anything bad about the government or you'll get fucking cooked. In the UK, I think, as of right now. Like, they will legit have a police officer or police officers come up to your door and arrest your ass if you live in the UK and you say something that the government doesn't like.
Here.
Which is insane.
But pretty much, this is what the politicians are doing. They are using the words of, or optics of protect the kids, think of the kids, and they're using that to be able to pass these laws to just straight up rip the rights and restrict adults and people in countries, and just to censor everything. And it's very clear the tactics of this, it's just very shady, it's malicious, and I want to point something out. These are the same governments, like for instance UK, they're actively protecting a PDF ring, or gangs.
Right.
They're actively protecting that or shutting down investigations of that, or that's not even talking about the United States with the whole Epstein list and files, okay? We have some shady stuff going on with that, and
they've been talking about releasing that list for years, and then Trump even went out of his way and said that the shit would get released just for him to then now say it doesn't exist.
Bills and trying to get passed like this. It's very clear there's a lot of deflection, there's a lot of censorship, and it's very sus. I'm just gonna be blunt. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but it's very, very
It ain't
sus.
even a conspiracy
now,
at this point, bro. Let's be real.
The point of the matter is that the Screen Act obviously is unacceptable. It is in the exact same vein as the Kids Online Safety Act that obviously is trying to restrict freedoms. It's trying to basically surveil everybody, know what you're doing at a given time, get your ID and everything, which also is very important to talk about because of the whole T-app leak that happened recently. I've been meaning to talk about this, but I can finally squeeze this into the conversation. But I think everybody that's been online has probably seen what's been going on with the T-app. The T-app was basically...
Bro, I'm gonna be real. The T-app was some bullshit. All it was is an app for bitter women to hop on and start talking shit about random news they don't even fucking know. A whole lot of capping going on in there. A whole lot of capping going on up in there, bro. That shit was stupid.
A bunch of disgruntled women that were very upset with men and basically doxing guys and saying really awful things about guys on this app.
Lying their asses off for what?
Someone got in and posted all the IDs, posted all the private, chats and everything on the T app to the public to see. Now, regardless of however you feel about what happened to the individuals involved, the point is this showcases complete security risks. This shows risk to your ID being on certain platforms or apps. For instance, the T app requires you to use an ID to verify if you were a woman or not going onto the app. So the point is that you got to imagine these laws that are trying to get passed, like the Kids Online Safety Act to the Screen Act, you're going to have to give up your ID to these different sites. And these different sites are obviously going to vary in terms of protection or how they encrypt your data or how they hold on to your ID or whatever. And obviously there's going to be probably many sites, many apps that do the exact same thing that the T-app did. And so there is a lot of danger here. Even if you want to disregard the restriction of freedom itself and trying to censor people, the danger of a platform accidentally releasing your identification for everyone to see is absolutely a horrible thing to think about. So yeah, just the advice here I'm going to give everyone is the same I gave a few days ago. Call your local representative, call your local senator, tell them do not let this pass, you don't like this, just basically shoot it down. It should not exist. You do not agree with it. The same thing can be said for the Kids Online Safety Act. Do the exact same thing. Call your local representative. And I want to point something out that this one is obviously pushed by 2 Republicans, but this one that's also basically the exact same thing, which is a newer bill, is also being co-sponsored by Republicans and Democrats that a lot of people apparently don't understand. Now, with all this...
Yeah, and that's another thing, too, is this isn't a Republican or a Democrat issue. I know there's a lot of idiots out there who want to be like, oh, this is all about the Republicans. They're the ones doing this shit. They want to censor us. Oh, this is the Democrat. It's both of them, bro. It's always been both of them. It's always been both of them, bro. So, like, can we just stop with the nonsense, please, for the love of God? Can we just stop? It's both of them.
Being talked about, we could segue into other content, which is of a brighter nature. Visa and MasterCard are getting overwhelmed by gamer fury over censorship. Gamers are sending mass emails and phone calls to major payment processors in protest over Steam and itch.io. Most likely, one big driving force to this is probably 4chan that initiated Operation
Bro, I saw this on Twitter where 4chan was basically... like, 4chan came out of the fucking woodwork and locked in to take out Collective Shout, bro. They basically said, fuck this feminist bullshit. Fuck all this censorship shit that y'all trying to do. We are back. Like, I haven't seen 4chan get this active since 2016, bro. Like, it was so funny seeing that being posted on Twitter.
With fire, they pretty much collectively got all the numbers and email addresses of Visa, MasterCard,
like,
other payment processors, and even Collective Shout.
Like, if there's one group of people you can, like, be sure is gonna get some shit done, it's the people I'm for. Like, it's the 4chan people, bro. Like, if you want some work to get done, bro, it's them, bro.
To pretty much just call them and email them and let them know we do not like censorship. We do not like our games being taken
4chan out
we
here
like
cooking somehow.
We don't like, freedom of expression being under attack. We don't like the
somehow, man,
mafia nature of payment processors. You just have 4chan collectively coming in and talking about the situation and spamming their phone services or emails. And I feel like a lot of people
somehow,
are doing the
bro,
exact same thing that might not even be affiliated with 4chan. And the reason for that is because this censorship issue has expanded so far, in fact, that you have people from all sides around the internet, people that have actively contributed to the current state of the gaming industry, like, for instance, trying to get, like...
Bruh, this idiot right here was the reason this whole shit started in the first place. So let's not get it twisted. Do not believe any bullshit that Anita Sarkeesian has to say, bro. Because I'm going to be real with you. She's the reason why this shit started in the first place. This is like hypocrisy to the majority degree. And once again, I think I talked about this before in this video, actually. Or maybe been in a different video. But these people who want to censorship are the reason why we are in the state that we are now. And it's only because now the stuff that they like is getting censored along with the stuff they don't like is getting censored. It's only because of that now they don't like it. They were all happy and dandy when they were banning, when they were all trying to get hot women banned from games and shit like that they thought was unrealistic and threatening to women. But now that their shit's getting banned too, and now their stuff is getting censored too, now all of a sudden it's not that, now it's a problem. Yeah, see, nah, we ain't falling for that shit. We ain't falling for it.
Characters censored or stop being sexualized have actively pitched in and tried to say enough is enough, stop censoring things. Now, regardless if you want to label them a hypocrite or not,
they are.
It'd be very easy to do so. The big point here is that you can see collectively the internet from all sides is getting affected by this. A lot of people are rallying and trying to fight a common enemy, which is obviously, once again, these activist groups, these payment processors, and the governments of these different countries. And this is all happening in such rapid succession, back to back. It's obvious.
Like, this has all happened within the last week. For anybody who's been on the internet or Twitter for the last week, this has been happening for the last week and a half now.
Obviously, there's something going on here. I mean, once again, you could call me a conspiracy theorist, but you have to admit, it's very shady, just so much happening at once. It's not normal. It's not. It's not normal having all these different sites, all these different businesses, all these different governments trying to initiate pretty much very similar things back to back. It's worrisome. It's scary. So there's an understandable reason to why there is such a backlash, why there's so much outcry about censorship and these payment processors. Like, I feel like Visa and MasterCard truly underestimated what they were doing. Because what this is going to cause, if gamers and anime fans and other individuals around the internet rally together, the collective voice is going to get so loud that it might get these different governments to be like, oh crap, back off, but also potentially break up, Visa and MasterCard with antitrust law because they have a monopoly. I mean, as I've talked about in my previous video yesterday, Visa owns 80%, okay, of the market for payment processes like cash flow, okay? So imagine 80% of the world is required to use Visa. That obviously is a monopoly that needs to be cut up and broken apart. So this might bring in the monopoly into question and allow like the general populace to find out about this and become a big issue for Visa and MasterCard. Hopefully something like that does happen. However, with all this being said, this is really the only good news that I really have for this video, because now we're about to get into some pretty dark stuff. First off, we have YouTube will identify and restrict minors' accounts with AI. Okay.
Now, for anybody who's wondering why this is bad, even though it should be common sense, yeah. Let's say you want to make a new YouTube account, and they just determine that you're not under 18, you're under 18, then you're fucking cooked. It's already happening on Twitter. It's already happening on Twitter with the UK specifically, with all their nonsense they're doing with all the censorship, where you got people in the UK who are adults but cannot use, or not I can't say not use, but not see certain things on X, even though they're adults.
I don't think I need to explain why this is bad, because obviously in a perfect world this makes sense and this would be great. But the reason why this is bad is because anyone that's been on YouTube long enough knows, especially as a content creator, knows that YouTube's automated bot system with its AI just
is garbage. It's fucking trash. It is garbage.
doesn't work. It doesn't. You'll have videos falsely flagged for like copyright issues or content ID, taken down for, you know, monetization reasons or whatever. There is always been issues with, you know, automating these systems on YouTube's platform. And the fact that they're automating the actual platform to identify if someone's a minor or not because of whatever content they're watching, if the account flags, like if they're, you know, potentially a minor watching content on YouTube, is pretty concerning, because you know for a fact there's going to be actual adults, even massive content creators, that's going to be hit by this. They're going to be hit by this AI that is going to potentially shut down their entire channel just randomly because of this introduction to this AI that's to restrict minors from accessing the YouTube platform. But I also have to question, isn't there a whole segment called YouTube Kids? There is a whole segment called YouTube Kids. Is that... Why do we have that then? Why do we have COPA?
I'm about to say...
If, like,
because they announced, I think way back in 2017, 2018, I might be wrong, the whole COPA Act and YouTube Kids, because of this whole nonsense, once again, that they want to protect the kids from harmful content. That's the whole reason we have the COPA Act. It's the whole reason why when you go and make a video, they ask you if this video is made for kids or not. It's literally the reason why we have that. And because they're doing this, like, what is the point now? What is the point?
we got this now. And I want to put this, like, out there. This is happening thanks to the UK stuff. Like, for instance, the Online Safety Act that UK passed. And so, you have people now around the world getting affected by another country's laws.
Yep.
You see how bad this is? It's getting worse. And once again, I brought up that Australia is going to be passing a similar law very soon. Europe as well. The United States is trying to pass one, as I talked about at the beginning of the video, with the different bills. So this is just...
It's a whole lot of bullshit.
It's really, it's insane how this just keeps getting worse and worse. But let's get into the next part, which is this part right here. So this is the Online Safety Act. This is what is outlined as is no longer allowed. Now,
yeah. Now, at first glance, this looks fine until you get all the way down to here. Yeah, there's a reason why they specifically outlined the illegal immigration and people smuggling, because that's what's going on in the UK right now. They have a lot of migrants.
At first glance, this seems a-okay. It makes sense why they would want to restrict this and not allow stuff like this to happen, this activity on platforms and stuff. It makes perfect sense. However, we gotta look at the optics of this once again. Just as how they use the whole line of think of the children or protect the kids, the optics here obviously is going to affect discussion and also fictional content. We've already seen fictional content on social media sites getting censored.
And honestly, let's be real, a lot of this could target anime. A lot of this could target anime, even just the really tame ones, not just like the ecchi ones, bro. Like in general. And once again, on paper, this looks good, but in general, let's be real, that's not what they're going to use it for.
Thanks to the UK law. Europe is getting affected by it, okay? And that's not including payment processors. So this means that any discussion of these topics, even in a actual negative light trying to put this stuff down, potentially will get censored. But then we got to get into the other fact with gaming. Obviously, with how draconic everything is getting with this law, it's very, very likely that games like GTA will not be able to exist. Because obviously GTA has a lot of this type of stuff within it. So when you factor that in, games are going to get heavily censored. Like, just simple games that have like anything negative or dark within them are not going to be allowed to exist with this law that UK obviously has in effect now. So yeah, it's not good. Like, it just, you can see the issue here. Now, we got to go a little bit further. We also got to talk about this situation, which is kind of like off topic, but it kind of showcases how crazy the world is getting.
Bro, I saw this shit, bro. I was like, there's no way in hell they about to bring back Imperial Japan with this bullshit, bro. Like, in 2025, like, what are we actually doing? Like, we really about to see Imperial Japan back in 2020, in Big 25? Crazy.
So, to kind of give a brief summary here, the third world popular party in Japan, Censor, has drafted a constitution that would restore power to the emperor, replace individual rights with national duties, and restrict foreigners from long-term residency, land ownership, and welfare. Now, I want to point something out. It is the third most popular party, so obviously they are not the strongest party in terms of political weight. But Japan even introducing something like this showcases that the world is becoming crazy, okay? Like, I don't know how many people have, like, know their history or not, but if you know anything about, let's say, World War II, for instance, and, you know, imperialistic Japan, and
like,
the emperor
it's
and everything,
wild, bro.
You're gonna know this is like Pandora's box waiting to happen if this indeed happens. And even if this doesn't pass and goes nowhere, the fact that it's even being brought up for discussion just goes to show the current state of the world. Like, I saw Asmongold mention this, and I think this is very relevant. Thanks to just how much censorship these governments are trying to do and how they're forcing just like their will upon the people and trying to restrict everyone, there is going to be a dictator that's going to rise to power. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but there 100% will be. I'm saying the exact same thing that Asmongold has talked about, and it's definitely going to happen sooner than later, because you can only push people so far to a certain degree to where they eventually backlash. There's massive backlash, and they retaliate. Eventually, there's going to be a dictator that's going to rise and get into power, and it's going to be horrifying. It's going to be terrible, because it's going to be a direct counter to everything that's currently going on, which is also not good. But when a pendulum swings left or right, it's going to hard correct itself the other direction because of everything going on. And
whatever goes up must come down, bro.
And I feel like we're at the precipice of that. There is so many governments and so many different things going around the world that's leading to that outcome that, as I've said, is terrifying. There's just, this issue has gotten so crazy. This censorship issue, to what's been going on with Collective Shout and gaming communities, to different governments. It's bad, man.
And to think that all of this, think about this real quick before we end the video. All of this started because one feminist gaming group, well, not even a gaming group, because they don't even like video games to begin with. All this because one feminist group on Twitter with only 1,000 people in it in Australia decided to go after Visa and MasterCard and basically tell them to get rid of a bunch of games on Steam. Because of that, because of some really, really bitter feminists who have nothing better to do, we're going through all this bullshit right now. Think about that for a second.
The only thing that you can take away from this that is a good thing is that the internet is rallying together. I have literally seen people that legit don't like me, by the way, that actually hate me. You can even see them commenting about me, that are even calling me Hitler, by the way, that are happy I'm talking about this, that I'm speaking out about what is going on. So it showcases just how many people are rallying behind this. Like, these are the same individuals that call me basically a PDF or Hitler. And by the way, this person made this this person made this meme to that. This is so funny.
That's funny as hell.
It's just
that's funny as hell.
But I'll leave it at that. Yeah, all I'm gonna say, at least if you're a United States resident, I recommend obviously calling your local representative or senator. If you're in the UK, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would just try to share that video.
I'm gonna be real. If you're in the UK or in the freaking Europe or Britain, bro, I'm gonna be real. It's time to fight back on God, bro. Like, cause y'all getting cooked. Otherwise, y'all are gonna get cooked if y'all don't fight back. We still have a chance to fight back here in America. You already know people don't like people being censored here. So there's no way we are allowing this shit. But as far as the UK, Britain, and Europe go, y'all need to do something because y'all are getting cooked right now. And we'll have to see how this goes down. We really do. But at the end of the day, none of it is good. And once again, the thing that really is crazy to me is that this is all started by one feminist group, bruh. Like, Jesus Christ, we can't win for losing with these people. But without further ado, that's pretty much going to be it. Crazy times we live in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.